Alright, what is up, guys? Today we are tearing apart the 4A-GE for the MR2. So the plan is with this motor is to put it back into the gold MR2, but this came out of the red MR2 that had been sitting for like 8 or 9 years. So no idea what the condition of this engine is. I have an engine gasket kit at the very minimum, and then I have a new timing belt, water pump, tensioner pulley, and all that. So the plan is you start by just taking the head off, seeing how the cylinders look, just looking at it all, taking the oil pan off, look at the bearings, make sure they are all good, and then we're gonna also pretty everything up as we take it off. So there's a couple of tools I gotta still go get, like a sandblasting cabinet. But we're going to sandblast and powder coat the valve covers. Going to use the ultrasonic cleaner and clean all the nuts and bolts. And possibly even try to re-iodize them or zinc plate them. And they look good and brand new. And then we're going to paint the block. But all that is down the road a little bit. So for now, I'm going to set up a time lapse and start taking this thing apart. So enjoy. Oof. Well, that doesn't look quite the best. Somebody did not take care of their engine. That looks disgusting. Well, I got the head off, but this does not look that good. Somebody did not take care of their engine. That is nasty. So we'll go about getting the head gasket off, getting everything cleaned up, and got the vacuum so I can vacuum everything out, scuff everything up, make sure it looks all good still. But the one thing I did notice is the hash marks still look good. That does not look bad at all. Got a little bit of rust in this one, but that's to be expected. Like I said, this car and engine sat for at the minimum of 8 years. So yeah, but this is gonna be fun. I'm excited now. It was not as intense as I thought it was gonna be. The only thing I don't quite know yet is how I'm gonna clean everything up the proper way. But I'm gonna take out these buckets, for then I can turn the head over without them falling out and getting all mixed up. So I'm gonna do the same thing I did here and turn the head sideways and do it here. I'm gonna take the buckets out on each side, number them, and that way I don't mix them up. So I'm gonna set you guys back up on the time lapse, so enjoy. Also, you guys are ever in Indian Wells Valley, go up to the Indian Wells Valley Brewery, get the Lunatic Lemonade. It is fantastic. I am gonna hop back on this, so enjoy the time lapse. I got the buckets out, so I flipped the head over, and definitely gonna need to take the valves out. You can see just this one isn't sitting all the way. That one isn't sitting all the way down. And they're just, it's all together just dirty as hell. So, I am going to see if my valve removing tool will work for these valves, and then start taking them out and see how that goes. Because at this point, I'm just having fun with this. And if I can make it work, I can. And if I can't, then I can't. So, let's get to it. I think I have some of my engine tools over here. This is a 7M. Yeah. Alright, so we got these brushes, which I can clean out the ports that I have taped off. I'm gonna grab all the tools, and then we'll lay them out over there and look at them. Alright, so some of the tools I got is this hand valve lapper set. I've had all this stuff for a while. This, I just now realized, is not gonna work for this setup. So as you can see, maybe see in this photo, these are supposed to go down into the spring, and then that pushes down. With this head, can't really do that because they're in there little thingies. So I'll figure something out. And then I got all these wire brushes to go in everything, valve grinding compound, and then this to clean the valve seats. Just gently. I'm gonna see which one is more controllable, an electric one or an air one. So let's go about trying to clean this head up as best as we can. Also, something that I had learned is to make sure your head is still flat and not warped, is you can get a like construction or a woodworking straight edge. I don't know where mine went. I'm gonna go on the other side and look for it, but I'll show you guys what I mean to make sure that your head is not warped. All right, so this is that straight edge tool I was talking about. You can pick it up at like Lowe's or Home Depot or wherever really hardware store you got. But you set it on here and you go from one edge to the other and you look down there and look along it and see how much clearance you got. And if one side looks worse than the other, then you know you got a warped head. But if it all looks pretty equal, you're good. You can also go into finer detail and get the feeler gauge and look at it that way. So you're gonna have to look up what the clearance is, okay, to be on your head. So I'm gonna clean mine off first. For then I'm starting with a fresh surface. And then I'm gonna go through, test it, and feel it out with the little feeler gauge. So I'm gonna clean all these tools out and then vacuum this thing and just sit here and scrub it for a while. So I'll pick you guys back up once you're looking better. I may also put you guys up on the time lapse. So, all right, let's get to it. Well, I do not have the valve removal tool. Harbor Freight has one, but they're closed today. So for now, I just cut a socket so I can push down the valve and let the retainer out. I'm gonna have to set it up on a time lapse and show you guys, but basically use that to push the spring down and then use this to get the retainers out. So you guys are gonna go back up on the time lapse and gonna see if this works. If not, then I'm gonna have to wait till tomorrow and then go to Harbor Freight and get the tool I need. So let's see if this works. So since I can't work on that for now, I'm gonna work on this and cleaning this all up. So we're gonna start by trying to get this gasket off, because I know another thing I need is some razor blades that scrape everything. So let's get to cleaning this off. Alrighty, well, we got the engine kind of cleaned up, way better than it was. The next thing is cleaning out the cylinder walls. So as you can see, there's a few rust spots in them. This one's like probably the worst, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scuff it with a green Scotch-Brite pad first, and then I'm gonna take this to it. I'm gonna clean this off nice and good, but this should rehone it up, make it look nice. So we're gonna do this and see how it looks, see how it works. Alrighty, well, I got the engine down to just the block itself with the crank in it. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take out these caps and look at the bearings underneath them and see how the condition of them are, to see if it's something I got to replace. And then that's going to determine whether I'm knocking the whole piston and connecting rod out and going to be rehoning it, or if I'm just gonna clean it all up and stick it all back together. So wish me luck. I'm gonna stick you guys back up on a time lapse and let's look at this shit and see how it goes. Let's get to it. Alright guys, well, the first one looks really good. Or not the first one, but the first one I took off. Looks really good actually. There's no scoring, there's no excessive wear. So all looks pretty daggum good. So I'm excited about that. So I'm gonna take off the rest of these and see what they look like too. Well, boom. That didn't turn out as bad as I thought it was going to. how they're all nice and silver again. So now I'm gonna hit the thing with some brake clean and clean this whole thing up. Not bad. I'm actually pretty excited about it. Sweet. Look at all that nastiness that came out. Alright, let's get to it. Alright, well, I got the cylinders all honed out. They're all looking good and fresh now. Took some engine oil, stuck it down in there for nothing rusts. So now I'm gonna use brake clean, clean off the deck again, tape it off, flip it over, do the same thing, just taping it off. And then I'm gonna tape off the front end, and then I'm going to sand down the block and wire brush it with this big old thing. I'm gonna paint it. So I got some paint over here somewhere still. I've got black paint, I think, and then some primer I can lay down beforehand. So let's get to taping this thing off and get it prepped for paint. Alright, well, got the engine block all primed. Not looking bad. I'm gonna let it cure. Let it sit for a little bit. But I'm getting excited, dude. This thing's starting to come out sick. So I'm gonna let it sit for like an hour, and then I'm gonna hit it with the black paint. But in the meantime, I've got quite a mess that I've got to clean up. So I'm gonna get to cleaning up all this mess while this cures, and I'll pick you guys back up once we're ready to spray the first coat of paint. Let's do it. Alright guys, well today we're picking back up where we left off the other day with cleaning up these pistons. So I'm warming up the block one more time for that I can paint it again because I missed a couple spots. So while that's warming up, I'm gonna try to clean these. But in the spirit of trying to clean these, I'm trying to figure out a non-abrasive way to do it. So what I'm gonna try to do, I'm gonna stick these caps back on just ever so slightly. Grab these, and we're gonna put it in my ultrasonic cleaner. So I'm gonna test it out this way with one, see if it works out. If not, then damn. If so, then cool. So I got it heating up to 80 degrees. I already have the cleaner in there. So we're just gonna plop it in. I'm gonna drop the nuts in first. You can see down there the solvent already kind of working. I'm gonna gently drop this in. Drop the nuts in. And then put that down. Actually, we're gonna put these up. Stick this on. And I'm gonna leave this, I'm gonna shut this door and leave it in here because the sound hurts my head. But go ahead and turn this on. And I'll check back in 15 minutes. All right. This batch is done. Let's see how this turned out. Ooh. Hold on, I gotta set this down. Look at that. That worked so good, bro. And it moves so freely now. Bro. That is actually sick. That makes this well worth the money once again. If you guys need clean parts, go pick this up from Harbor Freight. Bro, that was sick. That is amazing, bro. I mean, just look at the difference. It moves freely now, too. And these ones, you gotta, like, pry it, bro. Like, alright, well, on to the next one. And wipe my hand off, but look, that is mad impressive. Dude, this thing is sick. Alright, on to the next one. I'll check back in with you guys in another 15 minutes. Before and after. Like, look. Even up in here, all nasty and grimy. And after. That might be a problem. Oh no, that's just hair. But that is so sick, dude. I like it. Alrighty, whoa. We have got all the pistons cleaned. All the rings move freely. So I guess it's now time to clear off all the tape on here. Clean the rest of the block out. The rotating assembly, the crank, and all that. Clean all that off. I got some brake clean to do so with. And then I guess I'll clean this up and lube this up. And then start getting ready to stick these pistons back in. I'm excited. I'm like really, really excited. So hopefully this all goes well. I have everything marked. Well, not that one because apparently but we got front, back, and then the proper way for these are to sit. And then I also know which way from the bottom of the piston, the connecting rod, I know which way that sits from looking back on the videos. So I can double, triple check everything. And this is looking all good now. Got it all dried. Looking all fresh. So I'm gonna throw you guys on a time lapse of me taking the tape off and then prepping the crankshaft, making sure all the crap is off of it, and then I guess start assembling. So nothing to it but to get to it. So let's do it. Alrighty, well, we got the whole rotating assembly together. So, now, since that is all done, it's all looking good. Let's see. So I put some oil in each cylinder. So now for the meantime, we're gonna put this baggie over it where it keeps all the trash out. And then we're gonna start getting going on the head. So I'm gonna put this baggie over it, clean up my mess from everything else. And then I need to clean the oil pan because that's nasty still. So what I'll do is I'll clean up here, clean up the oil pan, get it ready to go on, and then bring this over and start on it. So I'm gonna get to it. But here, this is first. All right, well, now since this is all sealed up, let's get to cleaning up.